the Spirit make us together one. We are from one source, and that source gave us languages. Those languages are not learned in the classroom. Those languages are not designing the curriculum. It's a natural language that comes to us. And when we started saying, Mama, and we talk this language, it's a natural curriculum. And I will do the language which will reach home in Africa. And join us again here.
Hello Mpatheleni, we are sitting on the sidelines of the meeting of the Global Alliance for the Rights of Nature here in Brazil, in Belem. Can you introduce yourself, please?
I am Mpatheleni Makaulule Matumba Mukwego. I am from VhaVenda. VhaVenda is found in Limpopo province in South Africa. I come from the Indigenous clans of the VhaVenda people.
Okay, and you have been living there, your community has been living there for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, right?
There is no university or any research which can tell us when VhaVenda was created and why we are placed there. We are like the small seed which is buried in the ground. We have germinated there, and we know that because of our sacred forest.
Mm-hmm. So you believe you are descended from the forest or from some animals, or?
We are the descendants of the first origin of the creation of the living system.
Okay, of course. What has been your, historically and now, your main struggle with South Africa, state government or anything else, development, etc.?
And just this development happening in the territories where there are mountains, where there are rivers, where there is a richest biodiversity, where is the deepest nature. This injustice development are coming after our ancestors have gone to the graves with the cry that through the colonization apartheid, they were moved from their birth home, roots home, forced removal, when the country is demolition, destroying the indigenous life system. Then when Mandela came in after liberation, which we voted, democracy never pay attention on the rights of nature, because when you pay attention on the rights of nature, you are paying attention on the indigenous system of the territory. They said claim the land where you have been forced to remove. Our great parents, our parents, while we are claiming the land, like myself, I'm 56 years now. Our clan has been removed from their sacred forest, from the mountain. We are claiming the land. But while we are claiming the land, the democracy which Mandela has struggled for is authorizing mining on top of the land which we are claiming. Presently here, They have authorized the special economic zone where they want to erode the big Boabab. 3,000 hectares they want to demolish, destroy the forest, which is rich with big Boabas, big oldest trees, the richest biodiversity. It's happening while we have the government which have the policies, the act, the strategic plan for biodiversity from the Biodiversity Act. But still we say rights of nature, right of the natural creation, rights of rivers, rights of the habitat of our ancestors' graves, rights of the sacred forest. South Africa is still authorizing injustice development.
So, do you feel that the model of democracy in South Africa or India or anywhere in the world, where you set up a government and then they have the power, that there's something wrong with that model and that maybe the power should be with the people?
It is very wrong. When they say democracy, they will never even, like South Africa, when they say democracy, there was no attention, deep attention on the rights of nature. In a simple word, they never pay attention on the rights of nature. They make environmental law, environmental act, all this law, even culture, heritage act, but it was not about the living system. It was about the capitalizing, privatizing, commodifying everything to make money, for people to see money as the only thing. But this money comes after destruction. I don't see it was justice. And in the whole world, because me through Mupo, our organization, I've been to Colombia. Now I am in Brazil. I've been to Kenya. I've been to Ethiopia. Indigenous people are struggling of the very criteria. Recognize the indigenous life system. It's not about the person indigenous. It's about indigenous trees, indigenous animals, indigenous setup of the mountain, indigenous life system. We're not talking about the indigenous human being. We are talking about the whole indigenous system, from the smallest grass, indigenous smallest grass, up to the big indigenous tree, from the smallest indigenous stone where it is located, up to the big indigenous mountain, from the smallest insect, indigenous insect, up to the big elephant. This is how the indigenous people are fighting, are struggling, are raising voice for rights of nature. But democracy is not looking at, it's looking at the human being, economic reach of money by destroying nature.
Do you have your traditional system of governance and decision making? Is it still there? And how does it work?
In South Africa, we have the traditional leaders. Like my father was a traditional leader, but apartheid demolished the law of the traditional leadership. Even today, our traditional leaders are not guiding or leading in the traditional way. They are leading in the corporate way, business way, making money way. They are no longer at the courtyard where there is a tree, where they solve, where they discuss, where they talk about how is the governance of the land. They go to the government where they discuss about money making. That's why they are authorizing even mining to dig the land, authorizing the pesticide, and giving people that you go, you get a tractor to cultivate for you, and you put the artificial chemical seed. They are no longer leading in an indigenous traditional way.
And is this something that the women of the tribe like yourself, do you try and argue that we should go back to the indigenous way of life?
In the VhaVenda indigenous system, we have Makazi. Women, we are called Makazi. We are called the moon. We are the one who touch through our leadership. Women, we are fighting the Makazis of VhaVenda. We are standing up. We are many. We are fighting. We are raising a voice that we want to replace the ecological role of woman, which is to place the Makazi role according to the VhaVenda people. We are the custodian of the knowledge, how the spring, how the fountain, how the wetland, how the mountain, how the sacred forest is governed. How the forest play role, medicinal plants, food. If we talk about the seed food system, to the VhaVenda culture is the knowledge which is in the hands, in the mind, in the heart of women, the Makazi.
And in this, is the alliances across South Africa or across Africa of women's groups and other movements which are helping in this?
There are many grassroots organizations which are called civil society according to the level of the woman. I come from Mupo, our VhaVenda organization, community-based organization. I also come from Earth Life Africa, where we are campaigning about all the injustice which is happening in our territory. I'm also on the Wildlaw Institute. We want to bring what is called earth jurisprudence, wild law, nature law, indigenous law.
And so you have hopes for the future?
I have a deep hope to the future because our system is about the baby, the youth, the parents, the elder, the ancestor, those not yet born. Our indigenous system is about that cycle. My hope is that myself, I have get this knowledge from the intergenerational, not in the classroom. From our ancestors bless me with this knowledge, which I don't read it at school. My hope is that I will be the good ancestor to transfer this knowledge to those not yet born, up to the youth, the children, because I work with the children at school, I work with the youth, I work with the adults, the parents, I work with the elders, and I do ceremonies of our ancestors' prayers. That's my hope.
Thank you very much. It's very inspiring, struggles that you have, like everywhere else in the world. I think we're all hopeful because of the kind of struggles that you people, women especially, are waging with, of course, the rest of nature. So thank you for all you do.